Hello, hello. Welcome back to the mat and welcome to a Mercury Retrograde practice. So Mercury is said to be the ruler of communication. And so when Mercury is in retrograde, we might experience feeling a bit frazzled or a bit out of sorts. Things might not be going the way we expected them to or planned them to. Things kind of seem to go a little on the fritz. So today's practice will be focused on a lot of grounding, a lot of calming our energy, and really finding a place of centeredness. Really finding some centering today here on the mat, and hopefully taking some of that off the mat as we go through life with Mercury in retrograde. There are no props that you'll necessarily need for today, but as always, make sure you grab any props you know you like to have handy. A couple blocks are always nice. And that's all you'll need. If you have not joined the online tribe, come on in and join us. Signing up means that you get access to my resource library of journaling worksheets, of yoga sequences, and it also means that you get your free yoga class and guided meditation in your inbox every week. It's pretty sweet, and we're a pretty great community as well, so come on in and join us. Alrighty, my friend, go ahead, grab your props that you'd like to have, unroll your mat, and we're going to get started in Tadasana Mountain Pose, standing at the top of the mat. All right, my friend, join me here standing at the top of your mat. We're going to keep the feet about hip width distance, maybe a little bit wider than hip width distance. And for a moment, start to kind of move on the feet and really feel all of the corners and edges of your feet. So playing with lifting the toes and then bringing them down, feeling into inside and outside edges of the feet, bringing weight onto the balls of the feet and the toes and back to the heels. And then gradually starting to find some stillness here and finding an even distribution of the weight on the feet. So tuning into all of those edges and corners that you felt as you moved around, feel all of them pressing down to the earth. Feel for a lifting of the arches. So imagine the feet sort of become like suction cups on the earth. So that the arches are sort of lifting, the balls of the feet and the heels are pressing down into the earth. And I like to envision, when I come into this sort of visualization of the suction cups of the feet, I like to envision that the feet are sort of sucking up the energy of the earth through the soles of the feet. And the energy of the earth is grounding energy. It is, if you think about the earth, it is really stable, it is dense, it is thick, it's heavy. So tap into that energy and really see if you can visualize sort of pulling that energy up through the feet, up into the legs, so that you're finding this sense of like an elegant lift at the same time as you are grounding down into the earth, if that makes sense. So allowing this energy to travel up the body, so coming up into the pelvis, allow the pubic bone to gently pull them towards the navel. Feeling for length along the spine, so the heart is lifting towards the sky. Make sure the ribs aren't splaying out, so the ribs are staying knitted in. It's finding this length through the midline. And the shoulder blades glide back and down. Feeling the crown of the head reach up towards the sky. So there's a sense of lift throughout the body and at the same time a sense of grounding down into the earth. Sort of this root to rise experience. So see if you can tap into that here in this really grounded, steady mountain pose. And we'll be coming into a bit of balancing today in this practice. So Really tune into this sensation here right now of feeling really firmly grounded on 2 feet. And then we'll play with bringing that sensation with us as we balance a little bit later in the practice. From here, go ahead and lift the arms up by the ears. Take hold of the right wrist with the left hand. As you inhale, lengthen towards the sky, and as you exhale, lean over towards the left. Continue rooting down through the feet. Feel for expansion along the right side of the body. You can imagine sending the breath all the way down the right side, all the way down into the feet, and then feeling the breath rebound all the way up. Go ahead and lift back up to center. Take hold of left wrist with the right hand. As you inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, lean over towards the right. And this time, feeling for expansion along the left side. Imagining the breath flowing all the way down the left side and then back up. And lifting back up to center. Lowering the arms down, and you might want to open the feet just a smidge wider. We're going to bend into the knees and bring the hands just above the knees. As you inhale, so we're coming into a standing cat-cow here. So as you inhale, feel that you're sort of pulling back on the legs as you puff up the chest, opening the heart. And then as you exhale, round the spine, feel the navel pulling up. And inhale to arch, open the heart forward. And exhale, round, navel coming in. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. 2 more like this. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and come up to stand. Bring the feet in just a little bit closer. As you inhale, lift the arms up high. Exhale, bring a gentle bend into the knees, hinge at the hips, and fold over the legs. From here, we'll come into a twist. So the left hand is going to come down in front of the face. Take an inhale to lift halfway. Lengthen crown of the head forward. If you've got a block handy, maybe you bring a block into that space where the left hand is. Bring the right hand onto the sacrum. Take another inhale here to lengthen the crown of the head forward, tailbone back. And as you exhale, twist over towards the right. Use the belly to find the twist here. See if you can keep the hips relatively even. So notice if you're bringing a big bend into the left knee, see if you can keep both legs relatively straight with relatively even hips. It's okay if they shift a little bit, but we really want this twist to happen here at the belly and the torso. Right arm extending up towards the sky. Take 1 more inhale. And exhale, release the right hand down. We'll switch sides. So the right hand comes down in front of the face, left hand onto the sacrum. Inhale to extend, lengthen the spine. And exhale, twist to the right. Opening the chest towards, or twist to the left, sorry. Opening chest to the left side. Left arm will extend up towards the sky. One more inhale here. And then exhale, release hands to the earth. Go ahead and heel toe the feet together to touch. So the big toes come to touch. You'll have a slight gap in between the heels. Inhale, lifting halfway to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, plant the palms and step back into a plank pose. Take an inhale here in your plank. And as you exhale, lower the knees and then the torso to the earth. Inhale, open the heart, cobra pose. And exhale, take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Feel for that sense of connecting to the earth happening here through the feet and the hands. So you can sort of imagine suction cups in the hands as well as you root down into the earth and allow the earth energy to travel up through the body. From here, go ahead and step the right foot in between the hands. The left heel is going to come down for a warrior one. So you want the left toes pointing to the upper left corner of your mat. So the left toes are almost pointing straight forward. Make sure that there is space in between the feet. So you're on railroad tracks, not on a tightrope. When you feel steady here, lift the torso. So you want to make sure that your headlights are pointing straight forward. This is going to be important as we start to move from this pose on two legs onto one leg. So you really want to make sure the hips are squared towards the front of your mat. The arms will lift up high. Press firmly into the outer edge of the back foot and feel for a hugging of the legs towards the midline. So almost imagining a block in between the thighs, like you could squeeze the block, if that makes sense. From here, bring the palms to touch at heart center. Lean the chest over the right leg. We're going to bring all the weight onto the right leg as the left leg comes into the chest. From here, open the left leg out to the left and come into a tree pose. So the left foot can come to the inside of the right thigh. If that does not feel steady, you can bring the foot to the inside of the calf, maybe to the inside of the ankle. Finding a single spot to gaze at, set your drishti point. Feel yourself root down through the right foot. So imagining even roots growing through the bottom of the foot, anchoring you firmly into the earth. From here, bring the left knee back up into the chest. From here, extend the left leg long and back as the torso comes forward for warrior three. So really reach through the left heel. The toes are pointing down towards the earth. Feel a long line of energy from left heel to the crown of the head. Begin to bend deeply into the right knee. Step the left foot way back, and we're going to pivot to open to the left side of the mat for goddess pose. Heels are in, toes are pointing out. Sit down into the legs, open the arms wide. Again, feel for a sense of lift through the body at the same time as you sit down into the legs. And then go ahead and straighten the legs. Bring hands onto hips. Turn the heels so that the feet become parallel to one another. So the toes will come slightly in, heel slightly out. Inhale to lift the heart towards the sky. As you exhale, hinge at the hips. Fold over the legs for wide-legged forward fold. Hands can come onto the earth, maybe in line with the feet if that's available. Dropping the crown of the head towards the earth. Keep the legs nice and active here. Kneecaps pulling up towards the hip points. Allowing the hamstrings to release. Go ahead and bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale to lengthen. Go ahead and walk the hands all the way over to the left, so to the back of your mat. So bringing the hands to frame the left foot. Left toes come to face the front of your mat. Come onto the ball of the right foot. So you're in a lunge shape, facing the back of your mat with the left leg forward. Go ahead and bring the right heel onto the earth. We're setting up warrior one, facing the back of your mat. So again, right toes are pointing towards now it's the back corner of your mat, but they're almost pointing straight back. When you feel steady, lifting the torso, again, making sure that your hip points are pointing straight forward. Arms lift high next to the ears. Root down through the feet. Feel yourself firmly grounded here in this strong warrior one. Go ahead and bring the palms to touch at heart center. Lean the torso over the left leg as you bring all the weight onto the left foot. The right knee comes into the chest. Open right leg out to the right. Find your tree pose. So maybe to the inside of the left thigh, maybe inside of the calf, maybe at the ankle, maybe the right toes are even resting on the earth. Find the tree pose that's going to work for you here today. And bring the right knee back into the chest. With control, slowly begin to lean the torso forward as you extend the right leg back for warrior three. Root down through the left foot, the big toe mound of the left foot in particular. Reach through the right heel, crown of the head reaching forward. Begin to bend deeply into the left knee as the right foot comes way back. Pivot onto the right foot, coming to face the side of your mat for goddess pose. This time lifting the arms up high by the ears. Really press the thighs out and back, so finding an opening here in the hips. As you sit down into the legs, feel lift through the spine. And then straightening the legs, turning the feet so they're parallel to one another, bringing the arms all the way back behind you. Clasp the hands. Inhale, lift the heart to the sky. As you exhale, fold over the legs with the bind in the hands. Feel the shoulder blades reaching back towards each other, rooting down evenly throughout the feet. And releasing hands onto the earth, bringing them underneath the shoulders, taking an inhale to lengthen. Turning right toes to the front of your mat and walking the hands over to the front of your mat. Now from here, bring the hands to the inside of the right foot and heel toe of the right foot all the way out to the right side. So we're coming into a lizard pose. So hands are on the earth, on the inside edge of the right foot. And from here, you can keep the left knee lifted if you'd like a more active lizard, or you can bring the left knee onto the earth. Be here for a couple breaths, so you can stay here up on the hands. This is a beautiful place to be. If you feel a bit more open or you'd like to explore coming a little bit deeper, you can explore bringing the forearms onto the earth. And if you feel like you're somewhere in between forearms on the earth and hands on the earth, you can explore bringing blocks underneath the forearms and coming into this in-between space if you've got your blocks handy. So decide what's going to work best for you here today. And if you are on forearms, go ahead and lift onto hands. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and from here you're going to step the left foot outside the left hand. So I'm bringing the left foot up. We're coming into Malasana squat. So as you bring the feet up, allow the tailbone to descend towards the earth as the sternum lifts towards the sky. If you find that your heels are really super lifted here, you can bring a rolled up blanket or rolled up towel underneath the heels so that you can sit kind of supported on the feet. Bringing the palms to touch at heart center, finding that lift through the crown of the head and the heart. And at the same time as you feel for yourself grounding through the feet. From here, go ahead and bring the hands onto the earth. And we're going to step the right foot way back. We're coming into a lizard pose on the opposite side. So now the left foot is at the left edge of the mat. The hands are on the earth on the inside of the left foot, the right leg extended back. And again, you can keep the right knee lifted for a more active lizard, or you can bring the right knee onto the earth. And again, explore where you'd like to go with this pose. So maybe you explore forearms, maybe you don't. There are no right or wrongs. Finding what works best for you here today. And then from here, tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee, and stepping the right foot back outside the right hand. So we're coming back into that Malasana squat. Bringing the right foot up, dropping the hips towards the earth, the heart towards the sky, palms touch at heart center, pressing the knees to the inside, or the elbows to the insides of the legs. Finding a place of steadiness and calm here. So even if this pose feels all kinds of crazy for you, see if you can tap into a place of steadiness deep within. And then from here, you can go ahead and bring your seat all the way onto the earth. And we're going to come into a bridge pose or a supported bridge pose. So if you've got your block handy, you can come into a supported bridge, coming all the way onto your back. So if you do have a block handy, make sure you've got it within hand's reach. Bringing soles of your feet flat onto the earth, you'll lift the hips to the sky and bring the block underneath your sacrum and allow the hips to rest here on the block. If you do not have a block or you prefer to take a more active back bend, you will, same thing at the beginning here, press into the feet, lift the hips, but you'll lift the hips up a bit higher and then maybe snuggle the shoulders underneath, bringing the hands to clasp and pressing the arms into the earth as you lift the hips up towards the sky. Notice if the knees want to splay out towards the sides, hug the legs towards the midline as you root down through the feet. And then from here, releasing the arms if you've got them, and rolling yourself down vertebra by vertebra. If you are in a supported bridge with a block underneath you, you can stay exactly as you are. If you came into a more active bridge, take a moment here to windshield wiper the legs to either side. And then from here, we'll come into a legs up the wall. If you have a block handy and you don't feel like scooching all the way up to a wall, you can bring the block underneath the sacrum and extend the legs all the way up to the sky. If you do have a wall available or you don't have a block, scooch on up to the wall, and what that will look like is you'll kind of scooch one hip up next to the wall, right next to it, and then rotate yourself onto your back so that the legs come all the way up the wall. So your bum is against the wall, the backs of the legs are against the wall, and the legs extend up nice and high. And the arms can rest by the sides of the body, and you can just let yourself relax here. And tapping into the areas of the body here that are making contact with the earth beneath you. And feeling yourself connect to the earth, supporting you and grounding you here. And if you have legs of the wall and you'd like to stay here for Shavasana, please feel free to do so. It's a really nice spot to stay. If you have a block underneath you, you can begin to bend the knees, bringing the feet back towards the earth, and press into the feet as you lift the hips and bring the block out from underneath you. And we'll all meet coming onto our backs for Shavasana. Unless you're staying with legs up the wall for Shavasana, in which case, please stay there. If you are extending the legs long, allow the feet to be wide and really let them kind of flop out to the sides, being super relaxed. Arms are resting by the sides of the body, the palms turned up towards the sky. Knowing that whatever life throws at you, whether Mercury is in retrograde or not, you always have the power to come back into this space of calm. You can always reconnect to the earth and ground yourself in the present moment. Take a big breath here, filling up the belly. Open the mouth, let it go. Feel yourself sink into the earth here. Rooting down, anchoring you here in this moment. If you have more time to stay here in your Shavasana, please do stay. Otherwise, start to bring some gentle movement into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Extend the arms long overhead and take a nice long stretch. Bring soles of your feet flat onto your mat and roll onto the side of your choice. Using the top hand to help press you up, make your way into a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall, Feel your sitting bones root down. Bringing the palms to touch at heart center and bowing the head gently towards the hands. Thank you so much, my friend, for allowing me to lead you here in practice today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here. I will meet you right back here on the mat next time.